43 seconds of Justice League goes, well, this is a cool ass looking WB logo variation. Okay, let's take a sin off here as a gesture of goodwill. DC Comics. I guess I appreciate the recap of the stakes for the last movie, but why are we rehashing Superman's death again? It's not like this version of Justice League isn't going to bring him back, so why do we even care that this happens? I mean, Batman movies stopped showing Bruce Wayne's parents getting killed after the first time they did that back in 1989, right? Right? Previously, in an even worse movie, only this time it's slower. Aw man, they dragged poor Amy Adams into this, didn't they? Again! Don't worry folks, if this evil alien super being comes back to life after Superman has stabbed it with kryptonite, Batman is here at the ready to grapple hook it back to death. Also, I get it. The greatest superhero in the world looks like he's pretty f***ing hurt, maybe even dying. But he's still alive now, and currently screaming in pain. Batman and Diana have been all over this fight up until now, so why aren't they at least moving that way to try and help? Oh sure, just erase Joss Whedon from this project completely. Wait, that's a thing now? We're doing that across the board? No. Okay then, no sin here. Just move along. Zack Snyder thought the only thing that would make the whole mother box situation more nonsensical is to stick one of those powerful motherfuckers in a f***ing coat closet. Man, Superman's screams of anguish are so powerful that they can make it all the way to Gotham City, which we know is and has always been a short distance across the bay from Metropolis. The comics have long been clear that this is a San Francisco, Oakland-like situation. Doesn't Jesse Eisenberg's Luthor seem exactly like the kind of guy who would be cracking wise right now about how he's standing navel deep in a pool of alien goo water? Why is Superman's hollering making it only to the characters we know in this universe? Can normal humans hear them? Why is it even necessary for the metas to take note of this strange noise? Don't they watch the news? According to the end of the last movie, every network was covering that f***ing fight between the discount Avengers and Abomination. Man, whoever piloted this drone through all this CGI deserves a raise. I see they have their own hockey arena in Themyscira, Kamia. Do these warriors seriously spend all day, every day, just standing around this mother box? I know, it's important and stuff, but do all these ladies have to guard it? Hell, the one in the US has apparently been hanging out with the snow boots and the Land's End jackets for the last millennium, and it's been fine until now. Cool, Snyder fixed the almost total omission of J.K. Simmons' character from the last cut. I bet he has a huge character arc now.
Alert the Queen!
Just now? Shouldn't you have done that at the first moment this fucking thing moved in the last 1,000 years? This is Bruce Wayne. This movie thinks Bruce Wayne would camp out on a snowy mountaintop with a small fire and a horse, and this movie is already funnier than the 40-year-old virgin. I guess he opted for the Bat Horse instead of the Bat Plane or Bat Copter. The f*** is this even? Didn't he ride that horse all the way from Gotham? Oh, f*** yourself right in the... You, movie. I see now why we needed the full 4-hour cut of this film, so that we could fully appreciate the entire fucking journey Bruce takes to Hoth to find Arthur. Seriously, the entirety of the Lord of the Rings franchise had less footage of walking in the mountains than this opening scene. I won't be needing this anymore. Also, the idea that the horse could literally walk the teetering mountaintop's edge earlier, but needs to be abandoned here because the upcoming terrain is too much for it. Yep, because this is how movies normally go. Is there a reason we're getting the perspective of this conversation through a dirty-ass interior window? Are we peeping on these people? That just feels weird, even for this movie.
How dare this dog speak to us like children?
What's up this guy's ass? Gigli here just offered the town $25,000 to talk to Aquaman, and doesn't look like he's f***ing around at all. Sure, he's asking questions, but is he posing any threat to the village at all that would get this elder all fired up?
Dressed like a bat. You're out of your mind, Bruce Wayne.
Maybe, but not because he dresses like a bat, right? Even if Arthur doesn't want to participate in the Justice League, why would he think this idea is crazy? Especially if there is a supernatural threat coming to Earth. This fucking dialogue goes for all style over substance. It comes off like a bad parody of a comic book movie. Sea shanties. Also, I could say movie has time for this a million times in this thing. But this is not even 13 minutes into the film. What does an ad hoc Aquaman fangirl choir do for anyone that's trying to get into this story? That sweet sweater is sweltering with sweat and seawater, so see what the problem is? You may think this cut of the film was rated R because of some stray f***s or extra violent content, but I know that it was spiced up by all this hot foreclosure action. God, I'm getting a wreck just looking at this real estate sign. But what about the horse? I know we bag on Zack Snyder for the overuse of slow-mo, but he's seriously using that on Lois Lane walking out of a goddamn coffee shop, and do you see my point now? Gee, how do we make sure everyone knows Lois Lane is sad? Whatever will we do? Is this a thing? Not Superman specifically, but hanging commemorative banners on this bridge in England? Is that a thing? If the movie invented it, that's a sin. If it's a normal thing, but the movie perverted it for fictional Superman, that's a sin. Why does he need to knock on the van door here? Didn't the people in the back see him get out? It's not like he's giving the all-clear indication, considering there is still a heavily armed guard standing at the front of the entrance. Come and witness the excitement of an entire heist seen via briefcase cam. Movie sure does spend an inordinate amount of time on this failed heist, especially early on. I guess guess it's supposed to show how brazen criminals are now that Superman is gone and how badass Wonder Woman is, but we already know that shit. The dick does this have to do with any of the rest of the main narrative? 1 minute. 1 minute! This motherfucker has clearly watched too many James Bond movies. If you're gonna leave this little time before the bomb goes off, why not just do it immediately? It's like they're begging for Wonder Woman to have time to come to the rescue.
Who are you? The lasso of Hestia compels you to reveal the truth.
Do you need to explain the truth rope to the person you're using the truth rope on, or do you just need the truth?
Well, you do what?
You're too late. The countdown's already begun.
This lasso of truth is pretty shitty at its fucking job. Who was the engineer that decided to make little beep noises for every second that ticks off the clock? That fucking guy has a flair for the dramatic. Why isn't his ass here? This scene of Wonder Woman kicking all the ass in the room kicks, well, all the ass. And I want to remove a sin. I really do. But we get so fucking little of this moving forward in this movie, which definitely has room for it. And I'm just pissed enough to add 5 instead. Wonder Woman commits murder in front of a bunch of school children. Cool.
Can I be like you someday?
Well, no, you weren't born in Themyscira Amatologaville like Wonder Woman was, but it's cute that you have aspirations. The Themyscirian women arrive to what can only be described as Irish music? It's weird. Wait, the Queen is just now getting to the Mother Box Temple of Doom? I called for her way back at the beginning of the movie, right after Superman died. And since then, Clark's been buried, Bruce has made it all the way to Arthur's village, and Diana saved those kids. The took her so long?
It has slept for thousands of years, since the First Age.
Oh.
Evil does not sleep.
Oh yeah? And how do you explain the fact that there are only 2 CinemaSins videos every week? Someone is taking a break. Oh yeah, baby. This dude took a magic carpet ride, arriving on an ear-splitting Loudon boomer just to meet these straight-shooting women to tell them that he's born to be wild. Yo, these warriors were waiting for a chance to this box up. Remember when they had their bows and swords drawn and shit? Now an angry-looking fellow arrives with a bunch of winged freaks and they do nothing?
I have come to enlighten you to the great darkness.
Honestly, a little more darkness here would have helped you look more realistic. As it is, you look like a 3D poster I might find at Spencer Gifts after all the reasonable shoppers have made their purchases. As I watch this battle between parademons and Wonder Women, I'm left with the thought that sometimes movies are trimmed down for a reason. Why didn't the Queen do this at the first sign of Steppenwolf? You'd really think an ancient goddess of a leader would have better timing. These little natty motherfuckers were taken out by regular arrows and swords just a few minutes ago, but they survived this? They gave you $70 million and you still couldn't make this here look real? What did you spend it on? As the flying thing takes the glowing box from the horse-riding archer lady, I'm left to wonder, what movie am I even watching again? This game of hot box potato goes on for some time, and even if I hadn't seen the other version of the movie, I'd know that it means jack to the ultimate end of Steppenwolf ending up with his prize.
Cut it! Go!
God damn, when are the Transformers gonna show up and fucking help these people?
Oh, noble queen, why do you fight?
Why not just kill her, though? Why do this condescending speech nonsense? I guess Steppenwolf can summon his own Bifrost anytime he needs to, but he uses it so rarely that I'm convinced every time he does it, it lowers his sperm count or something. Definitely sad about this unnamed warrior gal and her unnamed horse, who are dead. It's sad. Even more sad because we knew her and her horse so well.
We have to light the ancient warning fire.
The fire has not burned for 5,000 years.
Does that matter here? Didn't Discount Michelle Monaghan see what just happened? This is like me telling my mom, I'm gonna make tacos, and her replying, you haven't had those since last Tuesday. Like, that's at all relevant, Mom. That did not feel like a natural place to cut. Which only further serves to make me think this movie is presented in 6 parts because it's so f***ing long, and not because 6 separate but connected stories really needed to be told.
It's toxic. That's good.
ExxonMobil.
Follow the scent of the mother boxes. Find the missing 2.
F*** you, Wolfie, do it yourself. This is exactly as useless as Thanos sending out Ebony Maw, Proxima Midnight, and who's the other guy? Jack Black? I don't know. Anyway, f*** this outsourcing of the most important task in the world to this villain. It's still weird to me that this dude is named Steppenwolf instead of Prism Guy or Reflector Man. Morphin' Mighty Mo!
It has to do with him. I made a promise to him on his grave.
You flip-flopping asshole. You tried to kill him shortly before making that promise on his grave. This is like Mike Tyson vowing to protect Evander Holyfield forever, but making that promise half an hour after biting off half the dude's ear. Also, last movie, you were even more emphatically saying, if there's even a chance. It was goofy then and it's goofy now, but now it's also against character. Why would Bruce Wayne travel on a private, big-ass passenger jet instead of a small private plane that seats a few people? There's no reason for him to fly a 747 around like the goddamn president, using a pocket memo cassette voice recorder in the 21st fucking century. God, everything has to be a fucking ceremony with these Amazons, man. Why'd they wait until now to do the fiery Gondor beacon lighting? They know Steppenwolf is here, and they should have shot their shot hours ago.
Warn my daughter that war has come.
and protect her.
That's asking a lot of a single arrow, but okay. I don't care if it's a weekday, holiday, Bastille Day, Thanksgiving Day, Training Day, Boxing Day, or Doris Day. Ain't no fucking way there's not a giant line queued up outside the Louvre.
You might as well disappear when you walk out of here.
Yep. What this movie definitely needed was more cagey dialogue about where she goes when she's Wonder Womaning. Really rounds out the story to know that her co-workers sometimes notice she has long absences. Next, she'll be giving me a scene of the Wayne board where the chairman points out that Bruce misses half the meetings. I know the Louvre is full of ancient art, but this tube TV set seems like it's the most outdated item in this entire museum. What the f*** is that computer-sized panel inside his front door? He doesn't touch it, so it's not a security panel. Unless he's just terrible at security, but even if it's a security panel, that's f***ing huge! This f***ing thing could play video games and Blu-rays and shit. My God!
The box isn't safe here.
You mean it's not safe in this charming little brownstone in a completely unsecured neighborhood nearby to the research facility? How do we arrive at that conclusion? They did a full arson investigation at this ancient site, but they left the f***ing inciting arrow here? Yes, this definitely makes the movie different. I'm so glad we got the she shows us that her ancient knowledge includes making a basic torque scene. My God, this changes everything. Wonder Woman understands kerosene? Also, this is very much Wonder Woman the Mummy, and that'd be okay with me if Brendan Fraser were anywhere around here. You know, for an underground secret tomb lair, this is tremendously well lit. I don't know exactly where this is, but I have to say their sweater game is strong, man. Like Ransom from Knives Out is even getting a boner looking at all this cable knit. Wait, am I taking a sin off, adding one, or just making an observation? I got distracted. Since it was that easy to take me out of the movie, here's a sin.
It's on him.
Stealing. Why does Arthur even drink? He's a goddamn god, right? There's no way he can get drunk, especially off a measly quarter bottle of whiskey. I know he's got a human side from his dad, but seems like the god part is much stronger, especially considering how his standalone movie turned out. Why does he even bother putting shirts on if he keeps ripping them off before he dives back into the water? That's just fucking wasteful. And you'd think a dude like Arthur would be much more into conservation. This should have been called the Slow Motion League.
You're the rightful king of Atlantis.
Expositional chastising. Chasposition? I realize he's trying to set up the whole thing here with future bigger, badder, big bads, but this scene just makes Steppenwolf seem weak and sniveling, undercutting his supposed menacingness later on.
You know, I paid millions of dollars for this building's security.
You got your money's worth. Took me almost a minute to disable it.
This is it, folks. This was the scene that finally made me realize why the Snyder Cut was so important. I get it now. I get it so hard I'm ordering a t-shirt. I triple get it.
Prototype troop carrier.
I once knew a man who would have loved to fly it.
Goddamn Diana. I know Steve Trevor had some dreamy eyes, but that was over a century ago. Move the f*** on.
Amazons before their betrayal and enslavement, and guardians from the stars.
Wait, did she just yada yada both the enslavement of the Amazonians and the emergence of the f***ing Green Lantern? That shit seems pretty important, no? Couldn't they have just landed the ship on the ground?
As Darkseid waged war on Earth.
Are we really still narrating over an hour into this thing?
Mother boxes?
Is Bruce seriously continuing to turn a f***ing wrench while Diana is literally telling him about the end of the world?
To conquer, 3 boxes have to synchronize and join together into the unity.
What the f***ing balls are you talking about? I have many questions about this movie, but one of the most unexpectedly burning ones is, why did the parademons need the steampunk goggles?
Zeus and his son Ares.
Every time Wonder Woman makes like old-timey mythology gods are real, it makes me laugh, but then it makes me angry that they aren't doing more to kick all the ass.
A golden age of heroes fighting together to defend life on Earth.
Seriously, Diana got all this shit from a few hieroglyphs drawn on the walls of a small chamber? Wait, there's an experienced Lantern Corps person here? And he doesn't end the battle by snapping his fingers? The f***? Why would there be only one Lantern Corps person here anyway if this was such an important battle? And why did the one guy shoot a flimsy green laser out of his chest and then get beaten down like a chump instead of, oh, I don't know, unleashing the actual full power of the Green Lanterns against this bitch villain and ending it all right here and now? Green Lantern peeps are f***ing mega powerful, you dopes. Guys, I know Darkseid is pretty f***ing strong, but isn't Zeus like the gaudiest god to ever god? Sure, he's tied to Earth and shit, but he's Zeus. Shouldn't he be able to handle this shit by himself if he's this engaged? Can we get a ruling on the power differential of these two in the movie so I can have some f***ing context? Rather than go for the death blow, this asshole kicks Darkseid backwards. Then the powerful Earthlings turn their attention to the much less important parademons. And you know what? They deserve to have Darkseid and Steppenwolf come back in a few thousand years to beat their asses. Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell. Sure, this battle goes on longer in this cut, but it makes no more sense. At least Return of the King gave me a sense of scale and shit. And that'll teach you to never blindly follow your evil leader into battle with our planet, even though you were previously a regular inhabitant of a planet and Darkseid turned you into this being. Ha ha! Suck my trident, you chode!
Men, Atlanteans, and Amazons. Each would enshrine and guard one of the 3 sleeping mother boxes.
Sorry, give me a moment. I just need to laugh a bit. Hang on. I won't be long, I swear. These goddamn Earth douchebags dug a 4-foot deep hole like a bunch of middle schoolers who accidentally did a manslaughter but were too stupid to know how to hide the weapon. Jesus goddamn Christ, this is stupid enough to count for 10 sins instead of 1. Oh, my ass sideways. Runny puns. Sure, this happens to everyone at some point. You lose something in the space between the seats when you're driving and you want to grab that shit before you forget it. But this asshole is driving this giant rig right through the heart of Central City. And while he's grabbing for his f***ing burger, he decides to speed up the truck rather than pull over to the curb, which is completely clear. This is a bigger villain than Darkseid, Steppenwolf, and Joker together. I f***ing while driving. How is this entire city not an enormous pile of wrecked cars? Okay, this is a pretty rad scene, even if we've already been through Quicksilver's time in a bottle and Sweet Dream sequences in that other franchise. But my major issue is why Flash has to break the f***ing glass. If he's this fast, can't he just open the door like a normal metahuman? He has time to be pervy about the flying lady and grab a hot dog later during the rescue. This poor pet store owner is going to have to fill out so many insurance forms, keeping your eyes wide open during this massive automobile crash. Is he really fixing her hair before actually saving her life? The f***? Also, calculator watches. No one will be seated during the scene in which the parademons make the entire journey of dragging these f***o Atlanteans to shore. Seriously, I think Sir Lancelot's run to Swamp Castle was shorter than Monty Python's Holy Grail.
Where is it?
I still can't get over the fact that this is somehow considered a better-looking Steppenwolf. He looks like one of the zombies from Will Smith's I Am Legend, surrounded by the nano-armor of Megatron and Transformers the whatevering, only with 1/10 the budget, then topped off with glitter.
Atlanteans can be tricky.
That's Oceanist.
This is the third person.
Didn't Bruce email his to Diana a while ago, back at Batman v Superman? They're looking at the exact same file as she literally has already examined, presumably many times.
He's a cyborg.
Roll credit. Oh, sorry. I forgot he's the only one that's not getting a solo movie. Oh, Cyborg used to play football, you say? In the snow? At night with a multi-million-dollar video scoreboard? Okay. I mean, it's your movie, so, well, take what you have to offer, I guess. Thank God we got to see Cyborg score the game-winning touchdown in his collegiate career. Honestly, I would have been lost over this character arc if we hadn't seen him single-handedly lead the Dillon Panthers to victory and getting John Voight fired in the process.
I won't let you die. I won't allow it.
Thinking that's how this works.
If you were there, Mom would still be alive.
Jesus, Vic, what kind of conclusion is this to jump to? If Dad had been there, you probably would have left in the same car at the same time after the game, with the same weather conditions that led to the same car slamming into your asses. I know Mom wasn't necessarily watching the road before the wreck, but you got T-boned. How the hell would Silas being there have changed anything?
If you can't stand looking at me, try listening.
Sony, the voice recorder you can count on to bring your family back together after a horrific tragedy and years of distance. Iron Man.
In the world of ones and zeros, you are the absolute master.
Couldn't Silas have just said this to Victor? I know Victor's pissed at him, but if he's willing to listen to the tape, he could have listened to the actual person, right? Seems like Silas once again abandoned his boy so he could get back to the lab. Also, are we gonna just gloss over the fact that Silas gave the power of everything to a brooding, moody, hormonal dude in his early 20s? I know Victor was wise beyond his years before the accident, but he's still a young man, and he can literally control nukes now. Do we know what happens if he accidentally gets a cyboner? Does that blow up a covert submarine in the Arabian Sea? Cyborg can literally see anyone in the world's story, but he happens upon this one lady who has the most depressing life ever? What if he randomly pulled up the footage on, I don't know, a Kardashian? Would he still have had his hero's journey?
Give me your hand, man.
Touching hands through prison glass during visitation in a movie cliche.
You know what criminal justice would be for me? My son not wasting his life.
What? Bruce Wayne throwing a batarang at this kid to force the kid to show that he is in fact the Flash may look cool, but it's still attempted murder.
You're the Batman?
How does Barry know who Batman is, but doesn't recognize Bruce Wayne when he introduced himself earlier? Sure, Bats is famous, but he's not on the same level as one of the richest and most powerful playboys in the world, right?
It's like this layer of dimensional reality, and it seems to manipulate space-time. I call it the Speed Force.
And that's all we need to know about that super important plot point until about 6 hours from now when it's actually used. God damn, this casual Bruce Wayne mobile is sexy as f***, and I want to f*** it as much as I want to drive it. Ugh! Thrust! Thrust! This car f***s. Bruce has had time to research Barry, find him, travel to his home in Central City, and recruit him, but Diana's just getting around to Googling Victor's name.
I lost someone I loved once.
I found him again in 1984, which I guess was before this, so I lost someone I loved twice is what I meant to say. Much safer than it was before. I mean, seriously, it's like humans have no secure locations anywhere on the planet. Why can't they put it in the Batcave or something?
You're looking at the hottest thing on earth.
That's what I said to my college.
Exact words I said to my prom date.
Hey, what the hell, man? That's kind of my thing. Would this guy from a terrible movie be excellent at CinemaSins? How did Silas miss this thing when he walked in? Does it really take 2 parademons to carry a medium-sized scientist to the holding spot? Seems like this is a misallocation of resources. Steppenwolf clearly hasn't read the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I don't care how many soldiers the Conjuring took away from home base. There should be more than a handful of guards around this incredibly important artifact that just came to life a few days ago. Shimmery Joe here shows up out of nowhere. That's fine, I guess, but I absolutely have to send the rapid editing cuts after his appearance because they are Mary Hart-like in their ability to give someone an accidental seizure. Who needs an actual CGI budget when you've got an underwater battle? Just scribble a few sketches down on your Microsoft Surface, color the background with some neon fog, bada bing, bada boom, done. Deus Aquamanica. Somehow, I guess because we are underwater, Aquaman is able to go toe-to-toe with Steppenwolf. She seems sad, but I feel like she could have done a lot more. Why do 2 undersea people need to form an air bubble to have a conversation?
I knew her.
Well, that makes one of us.
Is this really the time to have this conversation after battling the biggest bad to ever bad here and losing a precious Infinity Stone just seconds ago?
Your mother left you to save your life.
I had no idea how much Moses was in this guy. F***ing parademons, man. Not only are they dicks to scientists, they're always leaving clues behind for metahumans to follow. No, man, you gotta insert it with the stripe facing up and to the right. Oh, man, I hope that random Russian family is okay.
They will tell me what they know, or I will rip it from them.
Or you can use that handy-dandy spider doohickey you used on the Atlantean just a few minutes ago, asshole. I want to die.
The lines on the map don't converge on land. These lead back to Stryker's Island.
First off, an island is land, my dude. Second, how does Whiplash not think the lines converge if they totally do in the bay? Third, how did he miss that there's a fucking island right there? There may as well be a giant X on Stryker, for fuck's sake.
Oh, wow, they really just vanish.
Funny line, I guess, but Flash looks genuinely surprised that they're gone. And given how he can see everything super slowly, that realization makes less sense than Ezra Miller replacing Grant Gustin as this character. The Justice League of Ass. Thankfully, the world's greatest detective is here to figure out where these people could be located. Who else could decipher this massive pile of convenient clues?
Thermal scan shows a cluster of people there.
And Alfred couldn't have told them about this until they got all the way to the bottom of the shaft.
Right. Is there a plan?
They just climbed up 60 flights of stairs and had all this time to get over to the harbor. Why didn't they have this discussion until now? Even if we discount Cyborg's isolative demeanor, it's not like Wonder Woman and Bats wouldn't have a dialogue about how to do this mission, right?
I heard about you. Didn't think you were real.
My college girlfriend said the same thing the first time she saw my...
Oh, I'm really missing Superman right now.
Because you two were so close.
You'll die if you don't.
No! Cyborg goes full Star-Lord here, and you'd never go full Star-Lord.
Amazon.
These are my exact words when I see a random-ass Camry pull up in my driveway and some stranger with no identification finally drops some shit that I ordered off at my door. And why can't you handle your own drivers in your own vans, Bezos? I understand Flash not wanting to get involved, but what's Batman doing while Diana is having this staring contest with Steppenwolf? Washing his tights?
This one will be mine.
Villain decides to fight a hero one-on-one during a big battle despite having an overwhelming army to help, cliché.
A little quicker!
I've got this. Keep moving.
The fact that Flash isn't moving all the hostages out of the way by himself isn't the most insulting thing here. It's that he's depending on Cyborg to help, and he's not even using any of his special either. He could fly at least a few of these folks to the surface in no time, but he's trudging up the stairs like he's a goddamn tourist at the Arc de Triomphe.
I need the Nightcrawler.
Thought you'd never ask.
Yeah, and why didn't he until now? See how he jumps around grabbing the debris? Why didn't he do this earlier with the humans? No! In the time that Flash had to say no, that motherfucker could have moved that rock, eaten a sandwich, checked the Yankee score, masturbated to completion, and taken a nap, but he needed Cyborg to save the day with a laser blasty save shot. Man, the Nightcrawler sure did suck, didn't it? It was useful for 3 seconds and good for killing a handful of parademons, which any of the heroes could have done on their own. Sure, Diana couldn't kill this bitch with her godlike abilities, but maybe this 50 cal will do the trick.
What are we under right now?
Gotham Harbor.
I love these Q&As that are purely for the audience, even though we were literally told this less than 10 minutes ago. It's like being reminded that Aquaman is good at water, or that Flash is really fast, or that Jesse Eisenberg is a terrible Lex Luthor. Hey, Zach, how do we explain that Aquaman knew that they were here at this exact moment, and that he made it here all the way from Nordic wherever the just in time to save the heroes from flooding? Tommy, my boy, why don't you stick to key gripping, and I'll tell the stories around here. But Zach, shh, I've got this, Tommy. I've got this. So he's done helping then? You're telling me that in this 9-hour marathon of a movie, they couldn't show us how Bruce and company got out of that flood situation just a minute ago? Cyborg flew away from the heroes that were in danger of drowning, and the next scene, they're just fine? Did the flooding stop for some reason? Is Gotham Harbor empty? What the absolute fucking man?
The anti-life equation is carved into the surface of this very world.
Oh. Ah, sudden molten Thanos.
My lord.
Once again, Steppenwolf kneels and snivels and it undercuts this movie's finale, but I guess it does a good job of setting up a future sequel we will never see.
Find the third box, synchronize the unity, and when this world is scorched, I will come for my great prize.
Again with the outsourcing. This is like the most important what's-a-madoodle in the entire universe. Why wouldn't Darkseid be booking a JetBlue flight to Earth immediately?
I speak to intelligence.
And thus Cyborg was immediately banned from visiting the state of Idaho. I'm kidding. Idaho, of course, is not a real state.
There's a dark spot in my data stream.
Look, it happens to men all the time. Sure, you're a little young, but it's never too early for an exam.
How do we know you're not working for them?
Maybe because he willingly joined you after some trepidation, and he brought you the third mother box and set it on a table between you all and literally asked for help? Red herring is red.
Though the box had slept for thousands of years.
God damn, this 4-hour movie has roughly 6 hours of exposition.
The box has the power to reinstate anterior particle relationships.
What? Jesus Christ, Zach, can you slow this whirly cam down a bit before I puke all over my screen? Even that 70s show paused every now and then to let Kelso and Fez shoot off a couple hazy one-liners.
Anybody with a match can turn a house to smoke.
Citation needed, Wonder Woman. A single match? Try lighting a house on fire with a single match and see how far you get. Especially if it's brick or stucco. I get the point you're trying to make, but your wording was too restrictive, so I had to send you. Not only can Cyborg project a hologram of Superman on top of this mama block, he's even got the dope animations.
Who is it? Martha.
She could have called, texted, emailed, or sent a letter, but instead, fake Clark's mom showed up right at Lois's door, and more importantly, why did you say that name?
I lost the farm.
Pretty sad, but I guess that's a better outcome than Clark's dad buying it. No one will be seated while Superman's mom and girlfriend talk about missing him and shit, and it takes over 3 minutes. This is Martian Manhunter, so what the f***ing was that scene for, goddammit? Also, why did this alien butthole choose to turn back into his regular form as soon as he got out in the hallway? What if Lois opened the door to get one more hug before Ma Kent left? What if Mrs. Hollingsworth from 5A was just returning home from her grocery run? What if Dick Bickle just got done with his shift at the laundromat and was searching for his keys outside his door? Why turn back into this body at all while you're around humans? Okay, this may be the most important moment of the movie, guys. As soon as Jason puts his hands on the table, gal, you follow suit. It's the only way we can properly convey how fucking serious you people are about this mission. No, Ezra, you just stay put. No one will care about you until the 3rd act.
There are 6, not 5. There's no us without him.
This plan is dumb. They held their own against Steppenwolf under the harbor, and that was without Arthur's help, and they didn't even work together. As Flash pointed out, there wasn't a fucking plan at all. I know the movie has to properly Justice League, but none of this discussion makes a lick of sense unless they got their asses kicked in the last battle, which they didn't. Oh, f me Tuesday, there are a lot of parts.
Any luck?
Didn't Cyborg say he could fix Fantastic Flying Fox on his own in record time? Why the shit is he out in bum Kansas while Bruce and Alfred fiddle fart their way around this transport?
Alfred, for once, I'm operating strictly on faith, not on reason.
That is a problem, Batman!
If you can't bring down the charging bull, then don't wave the red cape at it.
The f***? The red cape attracts a bull, but doesn't... I mean, even the best bullfighter can't guarantee they can bring down the bull because bulls are fucking unpredictable dicks. And the bullfighter is already in the ring with the bull before they wave the red cape. It's not like the bull is just walking by a stadium full of people minding his own business and suddenly someone appears and waves a red cape, which angers the bull, and then the competition begins. God damn, this is a bad analogy. I know I've already given this movie a lot of shit about its length. There's a reason shit gets cut, man. The banter between Flash and Aquaman is pretty amusing, but do we really need to see the entirety of the journey of them moving Clark's body from Smallville to the ship? No, viewer. No, we do not. Even the Dark Knight didn't make their skyline as Chicago-y as this, and that was Chicago as f***. And also, isn't this Metropolis not Gotham? Is every big city in the DCEU based on Chicago? Good thing Cyborg was nearby at this very moment to hack the ID computer and let Flash in. Why would he have done this long before now, even though he can communicate with any computer in the world within seconds? The f*** is everyone looking at? There was supposedly a microbial leak or something that led to the civilian evacuation, so why would they think anything big would be happening in the research station? Do they expect Superman to come back to life? Have they all read this far into the script?
You two lunatics better know what you're doing.
2 lunatics? As I recall, this is everyone's plan, and I'm pretty sure Arthur signed off on this too. Well, at least this version makes better use of Amy I'm sorry, I couldn't get through that with a straight face. The pregnancy test is branded by force majeure, as in the clause that allows for unforeseeable catastrophes to influence the liability of a contractual obligation? How the does that make sense here? Who branded this? Eddie Murphy? Also, this implies that Lois is pregnant with Superman's baby, and now I have to watch that whole scene between Jason Lee and one of the London kids from Mallrats when they argue about whether this is biologically possible, and who wants to rewatch Mallrats? Superman was buried with a single photo, this one, and this bunch of resurrecting dicks just let that precious memory slip down into the goo. How the fuck do they know what they are doing? Is there an IKEA-like instruction booklet for reviving a super person? This may be academic at this point, but did anyone consider flying Clark out into space to get a shit ton of sunlight after the battle with the Balrog in the last movie? Hell, he recovered from a goddamn nuke blast by doing just that, so it was worth a shot, right? Instead he got stabbed by the Eliath, they cried a bit, and then they put his ass in the ground without contacting NASA or Elon Musk or anything. I don't understand why Flash has to run fast and time things when Cyborg is here, and he should easily be able to create the charge needed and time it perfectly. But we needed a tense scene, and many people in the comments will be happy to explain why I'm wrong, but the movie doesn't really explain it, so therefore I'm right. While we watch the wave overtake all of Earth, I have to wonder, was this experimental resurrection worth it? Was not knowing worth hoping? What if this killed millions of Earthlings? Would it have been worth it even if Soups comes back and beats Steppenwolf? This is some reckless bullshit. Darkseid's watching all this Earth go down like it's Monday Night Football. What a fucking chump. God damn it, this movie has more apocalyptic fake-outs than Batman v Superman, Age of Ultron, and The Day After Tomorrow combined. So wait, Cyborg is getting information about the future from touching a computer? This whole thing, the whole thing that they literally made up a few seconds ago, this plan that's not a plan, that was based on a plan that wasn't an actual plan, the whole bitch-ass fucking thing works! How long have these cockernuts been standing out here? It was the dead of night when they were forced to evacuate, but now it's clearly daytime. Even if they left right before dawn, that's still a long-ass time to be standing in the same place looking at the same spot. It will forever be hilarious and sinful to me that Soups blasted so hard out of that coffin that he lost his jacket, tie, shirt, and shoes, but his pants miraculously survived with nary a tear. The only rip I see is in that fucking torso, am I right? Also, the first place he goes is to the site of his own statue? I don't care if he was just involuntarily reanimated from a permanent coma, that's some arrogant prick shit right there. Also, why is all this rubble from the statue still here? Sure, they may not have had time to rebuild it or anything, but they did have time to make and hang a giant banner from the goddamn Tower Bridge in London. Can they not have at least cleared the vestiges of the assault off the premises?
It's an auto defense system! It senses danger!
My really smart programmer gave me no override control over it. The lasso! It does nothing!
Kal-El, the last son of Krypton.
Yeah, the lasso and all the fighting didn't do the trick. Let's try words. Wow, so the best moment in the theatrical release was also part of Zack Snyder's original plans, eh? Okay, I'll take another sin-off. Ah yes, bullets, the well-known very best weapon to use against Superman. And sure, you might say these dumbasses don't know that this is Superman, but I could give a rat's ass. They just saw him take down all the Justice League in 30 seconds. He's Superman to them regardless. Look, I know Batman is way slower than the other superheroes, but the research facility isn't that far away. He has grappling hooks that can swing him around like f***ing Spider-Man. He could have caught a ride with Flash, or he could have just boosted one of the cars nearby. The question remains, why the balls did it take him so long to get here?
Clark, no.
First off, not to beat a dead horse, but why doesn't he just say Martha? Second, there are a lot of cops around here, and Bats is literally using Superman's Christian name. Sure, they don't know Bruce means Clark Kent necessarily, but when they're deposed after this whole incident, you don't think they're going to mention that Batman kept calling Superman by a regular-ass name, and that regular-ass dude from the Daily Planet died on the exact same day as Superman, and he has a regular-ass connection with this very city? The Metropolis PD must be even worse than the actual Chicago PD. Lois Lane ex machina's this situation here, and it weirdly made more sense that Bruce Wayne and Alfred were the reason she was brought here than her just suddenly showing up at the perfect time. Was she in a nearby office building watching all this unfold? What the f***? The power of love is a curious thing. Make a Superman weep and a Batman sting. Casual kidnapping.
He's coming.
The mother box.
Yeah, I know there wasn't a plan at all, but you'd think they would have left at least one person behind to guard that shit after they used it. How can the same guy bring about the end of the Earth in two different franchises? Takes Steppenwolf 3 swipes of his axe to get through this very human technology door.
So begins the end.
Dear holy sweet fancy mother box Mary, I wish. But I know there's still at least another hour of nonsense to sit through. And that's before we get to all that Joker tomfoolery in the epilogue. Holy shit, I can actually see the color blue in Batman's suit. Slap my ass and call me Susan, I'm taking a sin off. Ah, Kelly Clarkson! Hey, what if there's someone showing the property right now? Clark is just going to walk in with no shirt and probably worms and grubs all up in multiple orifices. That may completely derail the sale. Sure, we want the Kents to get the farm back, but what about the real estate agent's commission? The market in Smallville isn't hot or anything, so this may be their only sale all year.
Here.
I thought Martha cleared out the whole property and moved into an apartment. Did she just leave all Clark's behind in the house? I guess she was like, hell, he's dead, so it's someone else's problem now. Let them get rid of all this flannel. Photoshopping 1/5 of your shot to make an awesome sunset that only detracts from the original shot by looking obviously photoshopped.
He's never fought us. Not us united.
Apes together strong, man, bad say. Also, remember when we woke up the dead Superman because we needed him? Then he was kind of scary evil, so now we're back to doing this ourselves. But we're just as confident as if we never detoured to wake up the dead Superman in the first place?
I have a second chance, Lo.
Has Clark always called her Lo? I have to be honest, I've watched Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, both versions, and both versions of this movie multiple times, and I swear to f*** that I've never heard him use this nickname. Why'd she stop here instead of pulling all the way up to where they're standing? Doesn't she want to get to her son as quickly as possible?
I'm Willie Meemaw.
Meemaw.
Barry Allen was right here.
Flashing back to the Flash in a flashback without actually flashing to the flashback.
Lois Lane is the key.
She is. To Superman.
Reducing Lois Lane to the key to Superman.
Master Wayne, you need to see this.
Pardon, might you be a dear and come hither to gander upon this cliche? I know these assholes are superheroes and shit, but is there a reason to take off before the fucking back hatch is closed? No one's had a chance to even sit down, let alone get buckled in.
My redemption is nigh.
Premature celebration.
The satellites revealed he's created a defensive dome. It's a design flaw.
Dome itself is a design flaw? That's staggeringly bad design. I love it! But grammar weirdness aside, otherwise, it's the evil thing has exploitable design flaw all over again.
We've got to destroy the defensive dome so we can reach the Unity before it synchronizes.
Ah, I see. Makes perfect sense. Superman's ship sure has a lot of vagina shapes in it. Or are those onions? Endives? Leeks? Superman needs the sun, gives him a boner for the fight to come. Earthzits. Jeez, why'd it take the Justice League so long to get to Russia when Cap, Tony, Bucky, and T'Challa arrived there within minutes in Civil War?
Pull back, you're not gonna make it.
Just have to knock a little louder.
God damn. This movie was present in every single sexual encounter I had in college. Well, that was easy. If Independence Day, Minecraft, and the Star Wars movies have taught me anything, that should be pretty hard to do.
Kill him! Get to the carriage! Defend the Unity!
Those sound like three completely separate orders, though. I guess crash landing a speeding plane is just as safe in this movie as crashing a helicopter in the original Suicide Squad. Batman blows up the tower, proving once and for all that Batman's guns are awesome, and I guess the Demonoid Dick's guns are lame. I'm legitimately tired here, man. Can I get a break? A Valium? 20 minutes with a shitty couch? I never expected the Snyder Cut to bear so much resemblance to the Wachowski Speed Racer. Oh man, these parademons totally have Stormtrooper aim, huh? If they're having this much trouble with the Batmobile, there's no way one of them would be able to later hit a target as fast as Flash, especially when he's almost at full speed, right? These guys are The Bat and the Furious. Wonder Woman and Flash show up to save Batman's ass here. That's all well and good, but they still don't even know Superman is coming to bail them out, so this is poor allocation of resources. Cyborg is here too? They left Steppenwolf all alone with Aquaman? The Justice League are dicks.
You're welcome. Amen.
No booyah? I'd remove a sin, except I still remember the booyah from the theatrical version, so... Ah yes, just what we paid the big bucks for. Watching Aquaman engage in a protracted battle in the air. Oh good, 2 with 1 blow. You should tell that story to the villagers as you were on your way to face Goliath, you show-off. Now Batman is shooting fools with a fucking alien heavy machine gun. And are any of these fucking characters doing what they're known for doing in this fucking final battle? Is Wonder Woman gonna start doing jump rope with her lasso of truth once they get to Steppenwolf? Yeah, Jurassic you.
Remember me?
Well, he should. You went toe-to-toe with him under the ocean earlier in this 17-part extended limited miniseries of a movie.
Tell me, Amazon, why did you abandon your own sisters?
I know villains got a villain and but is this really relevant right now? After playing this whole final battle fairly smart, Steppensheep fixates on Wonder Woman just long enough to get his dumbass defeated. What do you call it when the villain isn't expositing his plan at the end, but instead he's just pacing around his hero victim unnecessarily? Hey, it's a literal Deus Ex Machina. Also, wow, Superman? You don't fucking say. I had him written off back when he was standoffish to the heroes after being reborn. No way I thought he was going to show up here at the end to save the day. That's ludicrous. Who in their right mind would have predicted that? That being said, watching Black Suit Superman kick Steppenwolf's ass for a good amount of time, amazing. Worth sins off. Why did Darkseid show up now? I thought he needed to be informed about the Unity after it happened. Then he would come to Earth and do his evil shit. The boxes haven't even been synchronized yet. Fake out ending is fake out forcing forced speed force. The guy who runs really fast will now run so fast he is running through space, but we will present that exceptional speed via slow motion, because
Make your own future.
yeah, I make my future to say f you to this portion of the movie. That's what I hope for with my future. You gotta hand it to Victor. He's got academic pride out the ass. Anytime he's not Cyborg, he's in some sort of letter jacket or Gotham City University swag. The Alumni Association should be constantly hitting him up after this.
We've been waiting for you, Victor.
God, f***ing manipulative cutscene Jesus sh**. How does Zack convince himself this sh** is needed or helpful or anything but nightmare-inducing?
Anti-life is found, Assad, and we will stop at nothing to possess it.
I mean, not now, even though we literally just had the portal to Earth open and the Justice League was tuckered out from that battle, and all of Batman's gadgets have been destroyed and so even though this would arguably be the best time to retrieve the anti-life, let's take 5 or so before we go after it. No, we're totally gonna get it. I just need to lie down for a bit, you know. My back has been acting up all week. They gave you $70 million and you couldn't make blonde Nokia here look 10% real? Seriously? I haven't kept an exact count, but I'm estimating this is the 3,402nd slow-mo hero shot we've gotten in this movie. And that's just in the last hour or so. Even if I believe Batman survived that crash earlier, how did the Night Fox, especially in pretty pristine condition? Oh, thank God. I guess it was an improvement over the previous version, and there were some cool moments here and there, but I am exhausted. Fuck a cocksucking dick with a shit-pole fuck-ass bitch hole. He stares at Mira. Mira stares at him. He stares back. Still, the movie refuses to end.
Big round table. 6 chairs. Right there.
But room for more.
And room for more.
Gag me with a fucking jagged spoon over this Hallmark fucking greeting card fucking ending.
Thank you is not enough what you did. I did a mistake.
Jesus balls on fire with a desire to get the fuck away from this leaden exposition. He did a thing. You're thankful. You're both super privileged white people. Let's go already.
How did you get the house back from the bank?
Bruce goes on to crack wise about how he bought the bank, but couldn't he have just bought the fucking house? Wasn't it in foreclosure and available for purchase to anyone, especially a rich asshole like him? Running this fast in a populous downtown area with your eyes closed.
Come on, Luther, let's go.
We're going to revisit this scene from the last version in essentially the same way. I have no problem giving it a Kryptonian skip.
His name is Bruce Wayne.
Cool. So how did Lex come to this realization? The same way Bane did in Dark Knight Rises? Which is to say, who the knows? After all this, the movie rams the unintelligible nightmare sequence into our eye holes with no transition, foreplay, or use of lubrication.
Isn't that right? Batman. Besides, who's gonna give you a reach around?
There you go, folks. Only Zack Snyder could bring you this moment where a fictional future Joker offers Batman a reach around. I'll be goddamn. It was all a dream! The movie's ending on an it was all a dream cliche. Wow. Not that the whole movie was a dream, but the unnecessary 6-minute desert future nightmare sequence was a dream. Which means it means nothing, since this is at the end of the fucking movie!
Oh, and some have called me the Martian Manhunter.
Christ on a cracker, can we just end?
Why is it so small? I've never seen one so small before. It's okay, honey. I love you for who you are, and I'll put in all the effort I need to make this work.